Love his mama. Well, I was feeding him some squash down at the office today, and he was acting real funny with it. All of a sudden, I noticed a paper clip coming out.
Oh my God.
Right? Right. You didn't care. You didn't care. You didn't want to swallow it, though, thank God.
Yeah. You feel some sense.
What you doing?
Hunter Bear.
He's watching the TV screen while we're making copies of movies. We'll send some movies back to Grandma for Mother's Day, huh? How about that? Let's walk along. We're not really encouraging him to walk. We don't really want him to take off walking, so this is very rare. Okay. No, not touch the buttons. Not touch the buttons.
He likes to see the volume go up, Sky-Fi.
What was that?
Kiss. Give Mommy a wave. Bye-bye.
Okay, let's go.
Bye-bye in the camera.
We're going bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye-bye, Mom.
Bye-bye.
It's a horsey. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Where's the real one? Right off the door. See? Horsey. See? That's Calypso. Calypso horsey. Woo! Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. Bye.
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 Hunter and Dad are going bye-bye. Bye-bye.
Okay, bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
I love you, honey. Hi, honey.
Hi, Mom.
Hi, what you doing there, huh?
This is how Hunter and I spend many hours. Right? We got to eat.
See, tape measure. He loves his cage by Dada.
Yep, and he just hangs out here, and Daddy gets to write on his new computer.
Yeah.
Traded in the other one, and we got this one. This is a leading edge. It's a little faster than the IBM. We're going crazy over computers. Mama just picked up the new modem in this one, and now we can tap in all over the world. Come here, my boy, get in the picture. Hunt, choo-choo-choo. We can just from sitting right here, we can tap in. We can make our own plane reservations. We can get 50 articles on some weird subject like an African mosquito if we wanted, just instantly put into the machine from all over 700 data banks all over the world. Come here. Come here. Come here. Come on. Hunter! Anyway, this cage is what keeps Hunter in this general area of the studio. Hi, Dee.
Hi, honey.
And Mom started all this stuff with the computer, and now...
How did I start all that stuff?
By that Christmas present of that little electronic typewriter. And I'm writing a whole book on this. We just added 4 new PCs to the office in addition to our mainframe, so we are really getting computerized.
Mm-hmm.
But the new book is coming fantastic on this thing. This is a printer right here. And it's part of this power stuff's all hidden, but man, it's incredible what it can do. Absolutely incredible.
Hmm.
In addition to just writing a simple letter.
All right.
Usually Hunter stands right here and tries to get to the keys. He tries to get to the keys. There's the boys wanting to get in.
Yeah, we'll get him in a minute.
We're not letting you in, boys.
Eat at the neighbors.
Boom, boom, boom.
You like that typewriter at all?
What's that?
That one, dear.
This one, I love these. I love this one. It has increased my writing speed at least a third. And even letters, simple things. Store it all in memory, bring it up whenever I want to, change it, move paragraphs all over the place. It's incredible.
All right.
And we're automating the office so much that the office will probably be about 1/3 more efficient than that within a few days. I mean, you're locked down. You can't come in. The boys who love to have their photographs taken. What have I got? What have I got? Run, 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 run. Okay, come on. Run. That boy. Run, run. Run, 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 run. That's pretty good. That's an Easter egg from Grandma, huh? Grandma sent you Easter eggs. Wants you to put together the yellow ones with the yellow ones. So, hey, look. Put the Easter egg in here. Take it in here, go.
What, honey? Now.
Bye, Mom.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. Mwah.
Where's the hook? Okay, I'm going to begin to introduce our next speaker by telling you a short story about two caterpillars. What does that have to do anything with this? It's quite simple. It's when two caterpillars are walking around, one sees a butterfly flying, and one caterpillar says to the other, "You'll never get me up in one of those." Because the process of change is difficult, it's scary, it's everything. Though Bob Dylan and others have taught us that he who's not busy being born is busy dying. And our next speaker teaches us the same. You know him perhaps through his voice and through his many tapes. How many people have heard Dick on his tapes? All right, pretty busy, active audience. And he'll be at his booth afterwards and have more of the tapes available in booth number 321. He's an internationally known and innovative hypnotherapist. He's written several books, including You Were Born Again to Be Together, and many, many other things, and he'll tell you all about them. Dick Sutphen.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Boy, you keep responding like this and we'll come back every week. We were just, yeah. We were just here last Saturday. Had a fantastic response then too, so we appreciate it. How many people in here have been with me before in a seminar? All right. Thank you. You're all down in front. What does that mean? You're not afraid anymore. These people, we've given them the weekend off this weekend, but on normal weekends, they are out wearing white robes and they sell flowers for us on the street corners. See, there's subliminal messages coming in under the guise of the air conditioning system and on the tapes, and we'll have yours waiting for you too when this is over. So how many people in here basically believe in reincarnation? I'd like to see a show of hands on that. And now the hands go all the way to the back on that. How many people don't? Your wife drug you here, you don't want to be here. There's one that went up right away. Another one right here. Another one over here. 2 men, 1 woman. We're going to convert your ass. You're outnumbered. Okay. How many people in here would like to know, be straight on this, how many would like to know why you're here on the earth, your purpose for being here? That's just about unanimous. Well, God told me to come and tell you. Don't laugh, she did. She said, she said, come down and tell them that they're here to learn to let go of fear and to learn to express unconditional love. Yeah. Yeah. God, feel the energy in this room. And yes, we're here to raise our vibrational rate. And we've got karma to fulfill, and we have dharma to handle. But in the process, the idea is to learn to let go of fear and learn to express unconditional love. And when I say fear, that's a very big word. I'm talking about all of the fear-based emotions, all of the anger and the selfishness and the jealousy and the hate, repression, greed, possessiveness, envy, anxiety, guilt, insecurity, inhibitions, egotism, vanity, malice, resentment. Real big word. That's what we're here to learn, to handle. And when I talk about unconditional love, I'm not talking about romantic love. I'm talking about acceptance of other human beings as they are, without judgment, without blame, without expectations. So it's accepting others as they are without attempting to change them except by our own positive example. Maybe it's a better way to say it. But let's begin at the beginning. Let's go back just a moment. I'm sure in talking to a group like this, where at least all of you but three are pretty heavy into metaphysics, you accept that you are already spiritual beings. Spiritual beings. Which to me, then, it would follow that you are already self-actualized. You're already highly evolved. It's just that in coming back to the earth, we have entrapped ourselves. Through the fears, we have entrapped ourselves upon this wheel of reincarnation. And until we resolve the fears, we're going to keep coming back. The fears are the lessons that we need to learn to attain the freedom that we so desire. If there's anything that my own 20-some years of research in this field has proven to me, that's it. But what I want to do here today, very quickly, is to talk about how I want to mix up some science and some metaphysics. Because I think it's the scientists that are going to prove to the rest of the world out there that we've known what we were talking about all the way along. It'll be the physicists that will bring in the great numbers of people, I think, that will be following us. So, concept number one. The entire universe functions on the same principle. And that principle is vibrational energy. Vibrational energy. You are vibrational energy. Actually, your skin appears solid, but the physicists tell us that it's zillions of little molecules swirling around each other, interacting. And you were born with a vibrational rate that you'd earned in the past. Let's just, for the sake of communication, let's assume that vibrational rates vary from 0 to 1,000. And let's say the vibrational rate of 0 would be the lower astral planes, which would be a pretty undesirable place to be. And maybe the vibrational rate of 1,000 would be the God level. Let's assume that the metaphysical organizations are correct and that there are actually 7 levels on the other side. So the 7th level of the Godhead would be a vibration of 1,000, just as an example now. Now, you were born with a vibrational rate that you'd earned in the past as a result of all the past lifetimes that you've lived, maybe as a result also of some of the time that you spent on the other side between lifetimes. But you have a rate, a vibrational rate. And let's just assume that maybe it was 500 when you were born. Now, how you live your life is going to determine whether or not you raise or lower your vibrational rate. If you react with the world, basically, if you're a positive person, you show compassion, you learn some of the lessons that you're here to learn, you let go of the fears, I would assume that you would raise your vibrational rate. And if you were negative and hostile and angry and resentful and you desire to control and go after revenge, you're probably going to lower your vibrational rate. I'm sure Hitler lowered his vibrational rate a long ways. So, I'm sure all these this metaphysical group like this, everyone here is very loving and positive all the time. And when your mate divorced you, you just said, well, go with God and be... Right? You're passing all your tests, raising your rear weight. Okay, now, Let's say that you raise your rate. Maybe a rate of 500 might just put you on the third level on the other side when you're in spirit. But let's say you raise your rate. You really live pretty well, and you raise it up to 565 in this lifetime. That would mean that maybe on the other side, you'd be at the fourth level now. And you could go back down to the third level to visit, but you wouldn't want to remain there because it's simply not as desirable as the fourth level. Or maybe you could go on up and handle the fifth level for a little while, visit there, but you wouldn't be able to take the more intense vibrations of the fifth level for very long. So the fourth level would be your natural habitat, your natural environment, until you're reborn on the earth plane once again. Now, vibrational energy, the whole universe operates this way. In spirit and here on the earth plane and out there, the rest of the universe. Einstein became very famous for discovering that matter is energy. This podium appears solid. In reality, again, it's the swirling molecules vibrating at a particular rate. There's a plant out there in the hallway. It's energy. This is energy. Your body's energy. Your mind is energy, and your soul is energy. And the only difference between the podium and the chair you're sitting upon and the plant and your body and your mind and your soul is their vibrational rate. And the highest vibrational rate would be in your higher self, deep within your higher self. The level that Jung talks about, I also believe at that level is the collective unconscious. The Eastern teachers, the metaphysical teachers, talk in terms of us all being one. And because we are all part of the collective unconscious, I think they're correct. We are all one. We're all connected on this level. And to me, as a result of my work, I see us being part of a great energy gestalt. And for lack of a better name, maybe we can just call that energy gestalt God. And since we're part of God, then we are also God. Part of the energy. And energy can't die. Now, I know that as a past lives therapist, as the author of many books, where I've worked now with over 70,000 people, they tell me, in seminars and thousands in individual regression. I know we can't die, but the physicists are proving that energy cannot die. They can prove that we're energy. They can prove it can't die. I first wrote about cloud chamber experiments that the physicists were doing when I wrote You Were Born Again to Be Together, which was published back in '76. And what they were doing is isolating the smallest molecule of energy within a little cloud chamber, sealing the cloud chamber so nothing can get out and nothing can get in. And obviously you can't see the molecule of energy. It's smaller than an atom. But it can be photographed on ultra-high sensitive film. And so when they photograph it and they run the film back, they find that this speck of energy has a size and a weight and a pattern and a speed, and it lives its life within the cloud chamber. And then it appears to fall to the bottom of the cloud chamber and die. Only pretty soon, when they leave the camera running, it's back. Only now it has a new size and a new weight and a new pattern and a new speed, and this goes on indefinitely. Energy does not die. It only transforms. And your energy. So, why are we playing? Why are we doing what we're doing here? I think there's several potential answers. Maybe they're all right, maybe none of them are right. But maybe we just want to get up to that higher level. Maybe we want to get up to the Godhead level because it's so desirable. Or maybe energy needs to procreate additional energy Because energy cannot stand still. That's another fact that the physicists point out. It cannot stand still. It's either moving forward or backward. Of course, maybe we simply want to raise our vibrational rate simply because we want to get off the wheel of reincarnation. But energy can't stand still. It's moving forward or backward. It can't stand still. It's stagnating, and that's self-destruction, which really just means that you're going to die and reincarnate. Transform. Okay, so again, your energy, you're doing the same thing. You're moving forward or backward, preparing to transform. And I'm pretty convinced that what makes energy move forward is aliveness. The concept of aliveness. Real enjoyment in doing what you do. It's the pleasure, the excitement, the exhilaration, the joy in life that makes life simply worth living. And I contend that aliveness is critical to your well-being. And yet for an awful lot of people, the majority, I guess, that I've worked with, life is pretty long on misery and short on joy and short on aliveness. Short on aliveness, because people tend to repress who they really are by wearing masks and holding back their real feelings, hiding their real feelings, and that's fear. And people become so concerned with what other people think that they tend to lose their own identity. And again, that's fear. And you accept the expectations of others. And when you do that, you begin to succumb to your fears. You start to accept invalid beliefs. And I think in talking with any metaphysical group of people, I don't need to tell you that it is your beliefs that are creating your reality. The brain-mind people are proving that with all of their exciting research these days. Don't have to accept the metaphysical idea at all. And so what happens when you start to succumb to fears, you start to give away your freedom, and you begin to close down and burn out. And then life becomes very dull and mundane and boring. And yet your mind can't handle that. Your mind can't handle dull and mundane and boring. So you attempt to find places to hide, such as watching television, or gossiping, or excess sleep, or maybe escapist reading, or getting involved in some of the cosmic foo-foo side of metaphysical activities. All of you who are giggling know exactly what I'm talking about. But empty places to hide will never work. Your life will still be boring. And so what happens, again, what the brain-mind people are proving, is that your mind will create something to make your life interesting. A lot of people handle it with fighting. And if you fight with your mate or the neighbors or people you work with, it'll make life interesting, I guess. Or you get sick. Kidney stones would give you something to talk about, right? Or you have an accident. Your mind will create something to make life interesting. Or you'll die. Can't handle boredom. People think they're going to retire and just lay back and do nothing. And all too often, if that's really what they try to do, ready for the energy to transform. Your mind is vibrational energy. It cannot stand still. That's stagnation at self-destruction. So if you want to live, I contend you better make your life very interesting, or your mind will make it interesting for you, before your mind makes it interesting for you. And so what I encourage is one of my main messages in working with groups of people. I encourage a lot of positive challenge in your life. I challenge people to live a little more dangerously. I contend the challenge is critical to your well-being. And as a natural expression of energy, going back to energy again, and the idea that the whole universe works on the same principle, including you and me. As a natural expression of energy, when there is no longer any challenge, energy transforms. And you can see this in individuals, or you can see this in nations. I'm kind of a student of history. And if you look at history, you'll find that throughout history, any time a nation has reached its peak and there has no longer been any opposition, that's the point where the nation begins to fragment and collapse. When there's no longer any challenge from other nations. And I've worked with couples. I've worked with couples so often where they've gone through adversity, trials, fought all the way through, all the shit, until finally they make it. Finally they accomplish their goals, they get life handled, and that's when they get a divorce, when there's no longer any challenge. And I've personally observed friends in the spiritual business who have fought for the enlightenment, and then once they finally attained it and there was no more challenge, there's been a lot of heavy-duty backsliding. Start over again. There's challenge if you start over again. Whenever there's a natural expression of energy, when there's no longer any challenge, transformation is going to follow. So, this is true of your spiritual momentum too. I think the challenge is one of the most spiritual factors that exists. And I'll have people argue with me about that. I'll have metaphysical people argue with me. I'll have metaphysical teachers disagree with that. They will claim that meditation is the path to enlightenment. And they're wrong. Simple. No exceptions. They're simply wrong. God said so. And I think that the brain-mind awareness that we have today can easily show why. Meditation will obviously alleviate stress and anxiety in your life. There's no doubt about that. It's very effective. But what you need to realize is that, and I'm talking about excessive meditation now as a path to enlightenment opposed to just daily meditation, which I do myself. But if you're involved in a lot of meditation, you will also detach from all the positive things in your life. It is detachment, but it's right across the board. You detach from all the love and the warmth, the joy, just as well as the negativity. It's a fact. Now, so that to me, any form of excess meditation is the same as smoking grass or taking Valium. That too is detachment. Meditation's probably a little healthier for your body, but it's the same end result. And as I say, there's nothing wrong with short daily meditation. I think that's very desirable. But if you are into the path of many people I know of 40 minutes every morning and 40 minutes every night, I can show you on an EEG machine that you are never coming back into beta consciousness. You're never waking up. You are constantly over there in alpha. And I don't know that that's necessarily desirable. You're constantly stoned. Fun? Not necessarily from the standpoint of spiritual evolution. I don't think so. So to me, it's no wonder that the primary people who advocate a lot of meditation have something they want to sell, usually their own organization that they'd like you to join, or maybe a whole lot of tapes, I don't know. But I do know that the more that you meditate, the mellower you will become, and your mind will go flat. And the more you meditate, the flatter it will go, until eventually, I don't know about here in the San Francisco area, but down in Los Angeles and Westwood on Saturday nights, you've got all of the white robe people with the bald heads and the glazed eyes chanting, playing their tambourines. And of course, they chant and meditate a lot, and that's, eventually you will only respond to command. So to me, challenge is far more spiritual. We are here on earth to learn to consciously detach from all of the fears and the negativity in our life, but to do it while we're wide awake, not stoned. And I contend, I was going to quote Ram Dass here, but I didn't have exactly the way he phrased it. I contend that until we can go through an entire lifetime with total involvement in our life, wide awake, and without fears, rising above our fears, until we can do that, we're going to come back. We're going to come back and go through another life and another life and another life. So the idea, I'm going to try to do a real quick process here if we can squeeze it in. The idea is to generate a lot of aliveness and challenge in your life and use the resulting opportunities from that involvement with life to rise above the fears and to express unconditional love. That's how you're going to raise your vibrational rate. That's how you're going to spiritually evolve. And everything that I'm telling you here is absolutely true unless it isn't. I want that. Good, you're listening. Based upon a lot of years of doing this, this is the way it bottom lines for me. So, what are you going to do? Number one, I think you have to decide what areas of your life lack aliveness. What areas of your life are lacking in aliveness? Where's the energy beginning to go the wrong way? And two, decide what you can do to create, to generate the aliveness. And that's usually going to result from wise risking. And hopefully it will come from doing something that you really enjoy doing. Something that you love, you do naturally and you do well. Okay, so here's what I'd like to do right now. I'd like to do a short process. If you're standing up in the back, it might be best if you sat down or came down here in front. There's plenty of room. I'm going to simply relax your body, but I don't want you to that. We're not going, it'll just be body relaxation, but I'd like you to focus your attention down upon a few questions that I'm going to ask you. All right, now I'm sure everyone in the room has got their own deep breathing technique, but if you don't, and you want to play, you want to participate in this short process, take a very deep breath in and hold for just as long as you can, comfortably, and then let the breath out slowly through slightly parted lips. And when you think the breath is all the way out, then contract your stomach muscles. Push it even further out and further out. And then repeat the process. So if you will, I'd like everyone to close your eyes and begin to breathe deeply and relax completely. Slow down your thoughts. Allow the quietness of spirit to begin to come in. This is just a very short process about attaining additional awareness of your true self, because you can't change what you don't recognize. So breathe deeply now, and in just a moment, I'm going to begin to relax your body one part at a time. And I'd like you to play the role and play the part and feel your body relaxing as I ask you to do so. So now, feel the relaxing power begin to come into the toes of both of your feet at the same time. It's moving right on down into the ball, into your arches.